I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming down. I want to go higher, higher, higher than that.
Welcome back to the Business is Human podcast, where we discuss strategies to increase our VRI, value, relevance, and impact. We're here to blend meaningful work with profitable success. I'm your host, Rebecca Fleetwood-Hession, here to steward what we call the age of humanity, to transform the way we work so we can transform the way that we live. As always, my friendly request, if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And then leave a review to tell the other humans that they might like it too. Always looking to help you and connect with others. Let's get into it, shall we? Welcome to this episode of the Business is Human podcast. We're going to talk about a monthly clarity day. Why are we going to talk about a monthly clarity day? Because you are human and you need one. And because the timing is really, really, really good. We are at the time of this release in the month of August, and that means we've got about 5 months left on the calendar year. And so if your goals, your company is on a January to December calendar year, still got some time, and it's good to zoom out and get some perspective. Because oftentimes what happens when we want things to be better, improve, meet the goals, we can start to look at things too close. We get that magnifying glass out and try to study every detail, and we lose perspective. We lose the bigger picture. And so this clarity day that we're going to do today is about zooming out and getting a broader lens on things, looking at it through the lens of humans. And so I have this download, a PDF on my website, RebeccaFleetwoodHession.com, where I have prepared an entire outline for you on how to do a monthly clarity day. And I truly hope that you will go and download it. It's on the podcast tab at the very bottom. And I want you to download it because I want to help you. I want you to have the insight and the perspective, and I want you to get rejuvenated about why your work matters, who it's for, and why it matters. So you can feel better, and so you can help your employees and your clients and your partners also gain some much needed perspective. So what I thought I'd do today is walk through some of the questions. Can't walk through a question. I'm going to read through some of the questions that are included in this download that you can do today that get you inspired to want to go and physically type in the web address and physically print out the download so you can do this every month. Sound like a plan? All right. So last week's episode with Becky Beckman, she talked about how she knew it was time for her to make a change in her career because her energy meter, kind of her battery, wasn't getting recharged. And I hear often that people say, you know what, I just need to go find a new job. And that might be true. But before you do something that drastic, make that big of a change, let's pull out some of these questions, spend some time in reflection to see if maybe you can recharge your battery where you are now. And it doesn't actually require you to change where you work or what you do, which is a much easier plan. But if it doesn't work and you want to change your career, change your company, change your job, you have the ability to do that at any time. You are not a hostage to your work. And freeing yourself from that belief is more than half the battle. All right, back to the job at hand today. Reflection questions for a monthly clarity day. So here's how I think this would serve you best. If you find a different way to do it, great. But I'm going to recommend that I am going to read the question, and then I think you should pause the episode, grab your journal, and in the moment, reflect on these questions, jot some things down. Now, if you're driving, don't write and drive. That's probably illegal. But you can still pause the episode and reflect. I'm a huge fan of writing things down because I know how that actually creates a better pattern in your brain. It's just better for you to etch it in your brain by writing it down. But if it's not practical to do that today, no worries. You can still just pause the episode and think about it for a smidge, shall we? All right, so the clarity day is broken down into 3 sections. It's broken down into reflection about yourself, reflection about your team, and reflection about your company. And so today I'm going to focus in on the reflection questions related to you, because that's applicable no matter what role that you have. All right, here we go. The first question is a simple one, but a profound one. And that is, how am I feeling? And a little bit of context about this one. We tend to get really in our heads, trying to problem solve, trying to think about it, trying to figure it out. And over time, when we do this repeatedly, we can lose touch with literally the rest of our bodies and how we're feeling. And it's this activation aspect of our nervous system that we just no longer feel enough. And it's important that we reconnect with our feelings, not just our thinking, because that's how our nervous system gives us some warning signals and tells us when it is time to make some changes. So let's just take a minute, pause the episode, ask yourself, how am I feeling? Welcome back. All right, the next reflection question is, what nudges have I been getting that I keep ignoring or setting aside? Context. Because of what I said earlier about we get so in our heads that we lose connection with our bodies, we also just keep going and doing and marking things off the list and checking our emails. And even though we have these nudges and these thoughts and these things that are purposeful, we get nudges, we get ideas for a reason. Either God's trying to speak to you, or if you're going from a nervous system perspective and the God spiritual things don't speak to you, okay, the nervous system is almost like whiskers on a cat. You know, whiskers on a cat are so they can sense what's going on around them. You have those same sensory vibes as a part of your nervous system, that we get these ideas and these nudges on purpose, usually for a purpose. They mean something. And so I want you to pause the episode and ask yourself, what kind of nudges have you been getting that you've been ignoring and setting aside? Okay, so I hope that you're going to plan to act on those nudges as well. Sometimes it's just, hey, I keep thinking about this particular person. Well, every time I act on those nudges, well, wouldn't you know it, that that person needs something that I have, or there's some reason that I'm thinking about them. So I would love for you to actually act on some of those nudges. The next question to reflect on today is, what could I celebrate about myself today? Again, business is human, so I'm all about the human side of business. And you and I both know that there are a lot of things that you check off your list and get done and move on to the next with hardly a heartbeat in between. And what our nervous system needs for its filing system, the filing system of our memories, is for there to be a strong positive emotion attached to something in your memory so that you can recall it better. Anything that has a lot of emotion gets filed at the top. And so if our emotions that we're always attaching to our thoughts are worry or negativity or frustration, that's what's going to just keep being at the top of mind, if you will. So we need to be really intentional about putting emotion around the good stuff. So that's what comes to mind when we need confidence, when we just need to be reminded that we've accomplished some really cool things. We've helped some people. We've made a difference. We've made an impact. So what could you celebrate about yourself today? And it doesn't have to be an achievement. Maybe yours is, I didn't lose my shit in the meeting yesterday. Yay! I'm growing, I'm evolving. Or it could be, I'm really glad that I had that important conversation with my son or daughter yesterday, or my colleague. So it doesn't have to be something that's on your list of goals. It doesn't have to be that you wait to celebrate until you've accomplished something. Go ahead and celebrate who you are. So pause this and ask yourself, what could you celebrate about yourself today? Okay, I hope as a part of that celebration, as you were reflecting on this, that you fist in the air, like, yes, like literally give yourself some just outward emotion of how good that felt. The more you do that, the more excited you will be the next time to celebrate you. It'll become more comfortable to be in celebration about yourself. Okay, next question. What can I let go of to bring more lightness to my life as I rise and thrive? So if we think about the metaphor of growth, and we picture that growth is moving up, sometimes what's required to move up is to release some of what's holding us back or holding us down. In fact, I have an entire download about this called Releasing Burdens that's on that same website you're going to go to get this one. So what can you let go of to bring more lightness to your life as you rise and thrive? It might be an action or an activity, something that you're doing that isn't providing much value and it's just a habit, but it's not helpful. Let it go. It could be a negative opinion that you have about someone or something. It can be either tangible or a mindset, a thought, a belief, whatever it is for you. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. What compliments have you received? And how did it feel to receive that compliment, to be seen as who you are, your gifts, your talents, your help, and your service? Express gratitude for these compliments. Now, this was an assignment that I received from my coach just before I launched my first book. She said, "You ain't ready." Because I was in the habit, which many of us high achievers are, of just moving on to the next thing. And she said, it's going to be really uncomfortable for you to receive accolades if you don't think about it intentionally and practice. And upon further review and research, after she assigned this to me, it was so ingrained in our nervous system needs. That act of gratitude is important for how we feel. It's easy for us to say, I'm grateful for what someone else has done or something that's out there. But to be grateful that someone sees us isn't our natural tendency. When somebody gives us a compliment, I often would say, oh, it was on sale, it has pockets kind of vibe. Like just dismissing the compliment because it was so uncomfortable. I didn't know how to receive it. But what happens when you deflect reject the compliment in that way, just dismiss it, you unintentionally diss the person that's giving you the compliment. And so the kindest thing that we can do is to receive it and to practice receiving it and be really skillful and intentional with how we receive compliments and open up energetically what we need to give and receive of the goodness that we desire. So, what compliments have you received and how did it feel? Okay, the next one is check in on your dreams. Have you made any progress on the things that you dream about? Is there something that you could take some action on the things that you dream about? And if you're saying to yourself, I don't know if I have any dreams, or I don't have time to dream, that may very well be true, because when your nervous system is overactivated perpetually, like you're just constantly on high alert, stress feelings, you block your ability to access the creativity and the dreaming part of you. And so we need to implement some stillness and some nervous system regulation to get back into that state of dreaming. So this one may be, ooh, I need some more stillness in my life so I can dream again. But hopefully you've already got some dreams written down somewhere in a journal or on a vision board or something. So check in. How are those dreams going? And guess what? I also have a download about dreaming. Look, I've tried to prepare as many tools for you as I possibly can. And if you go to my website and just peruse around a bit, you'll find a lot of good stuff for you there. So check in with your dreams. Go ahead and pause me now. The next one is related to your goals and your dreams, but what has come true since last month? What has gone really well? What has manifested in your life? What has God brought you and blessed you? Whether it's related to your dreams, your goals, your family, whatever it is. Okay, the next category of your personal reflection is, what does your soul need? I call it soul food. Soul food is an activity that makes you feel more of you. And in this document, I have some of the categories of soul food. I call it the soul food six pack. Rest, create, nature, laugh, play, and connect. And so, what soul food activity do you need right now in your life? Do you need rest? Do you need to go put your feet in the grass? Do you need to go play? Do something that just is fun for you? Connect with a friend or just someone that's on your mind? Maybe watch a comedy and just laugh. Whatever it is, you know what it is for you. So pause this for a minute and just ask yourself, what soul food do I need right now? Okay, next one is a little different category. What are you going to stop doing? Because we just always pile on and add more and more and more and more. You only have so much capacity in your life. So what could you stop doing that would free you up to do some of the other things that you do in your life better? And it could be something that's actually tangible, or it could be, I'm going to stop thinking about something or worrying about something. What can you pause or stop to make more room for goals or relationships or soul food or whatever it is that you need? Okay. Now, I want you to, if you can, if you're not driving or running on the treadmill or doing something dangerous, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to picture the faces of each of your family, close friends, who they are as the beautiful humans that they are. I want you to think about their lives, their dreams, their families. Just in your mind for a moment, connect with them as the beautiful human that you see them as. And as you do that, who comes to the top of your mind? Who do you need to check in with? Who do you need to give some praise, gratitude, prayers, encouragement? Okay, if you choose to go and download this PDF of the Monthly Clarity Day, there are a plethora of other reflection questions related to you, your team, and your organization, and a recommendation that you have a journal dedicated to your Monthly Clarity Day, where you could write down just a handful of actions that come of this reflection time. And if you dedicate the journal to just the Monthly Clarity Day, you'll be able to see the progress that you make on those handful of items by spending this important time in reflection. And it's so energizing and inspiring for me to go back and see that taking a day each month is progressing my life and my goals more than the frenetic activity in the day-to-day. So I know it's a big shift in how you typically do things and how you see things, but I can promise you that the return on that time is significant. All right. Well, I am so glad that you've spent some time in reflection today. And if you didn't pause, if you didn't reflect this time through, good news is you can go back and grab this episode anytime that you want, when it's a more opportune time with your journal, on your back porch or on your patio, and spend some time reflection. All right. Love you, man it. Make it a great day.
I'm not coming down. I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming down.
Thanks for listening to this episode. I would love it if you would go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review. And then you can go to RebeccaFleetwoodHessian.com and join the Badass Women's Council. And if you really want to take a deeper dive, join the movement of 1,000 Thriving Women. There's amazing Thrive tools there for you today.
And I'm not coming down.
Hey y'all, fun fact, if you like the music for the podcast, that is actually my son, Cameron Hessian. And I would love it if you would go to Spotify and iTunes and follow him and download some of his other music. My personal favorite is TV Land.